Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're reviewing a film that, really, this is the first time I've ever watched. I watched it once when I was like 11, but when you're 11 you don't really concentrate. We're reviewing the Rocky Horror Picture Show, directed by Jim Sharman, written by Richard O'Brien.
Yes.
Starring Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon, Barry Bostwick, Patricia Quinn, Richard O'Brien, Nell Campbell, Jonathan Adams, Meatloaf, before he was Meatloaf, and Charles Gray. Rob, you're quite a fan of this film, I do believe. Joe, take it away, Rob.
Firstly, let's talk about Patricia O'Quinn. Is it Patricia O'Quinn? Patricia Quinn.
Okay.
Who played Magenta.
Yes.
I'm in love.
We were saying before this, I really appreciated in the final act that they gave her Elsa Lancaster's hair from Bride Frankenstein.
Yeah, she looked like...
I thought it was really cool.
Generally looked like her.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was really put off by her accent, though, because no one else had that accent.
Yeah, I see your point, yeah, definitely.
I say put off, it threw me off, so it put me off.
She was definitely... she had, she was like a wild actress in the movie.
Yeah.
But I just could not... For some bizarre reason, I've watched this film many times before, but I just could not stop focusing on it. I just thought, my God, it's just so beautiful, and obviously a great actress as well. I'm not liking her for that reason.
And do you know where you can meet her in October, Rob?
Where can I meet her?
For the Love of Horror in Manchester.
Manchester.
We'll be there. We'll be there. I thought it'd be pretty cool. That's why we're doing this one today, before we do a little something. Yeah, because we're excited for October.
Because people have been talking about For the Love of Horror. Obviously, we've not had a chance to go back to this amazing Comic-Con, HorrorCon, since 2019, when the last one was, and that was when the Lost Boys sort of took over that con. And this time, it's basically Rocky Horror, and it's a chance for Chad, obviously, to rewatch the movie. I have not seen it in a while. I have seen it many times in my teens and a bit in my adult time, but no, it is a very unique movie because it deals with many different themes. It's not just a musical. It's you got like.
I felt that this film, obviously for when it came out as well, I felt like this film was basically saying to everyone, it's okay to be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And I love that.
No, definitely.
I love that.
I watched this film, it didn't and when the first scene where sort of Frankenfurter comes onto the scene and he starts singing the Transsexual Transylvania song.
Yeah.
That's 1975.
1975, yeah, that would have been a big problem in 1975.
Exactly. It's not something that you would expect from a movie of that time. And I can't even imagine how people talk to it then. Obviously, it has a massive cult following now. It actually generally has its own musical, which is on the West End. And it's travelled the world. Yeah. But, and the fans...
Anthony Stewart had played Frankenfurter.
Okay.
From Buffy.
Yes.
He played Giles. He played Frankenfurter in the West End. His voice is beautiful as well. If you've watched the Buffy show, you'll know that he's got a
beautiful tenor.
Lovely voice.
But the movie, like I say, so obviously with musicals, I'm not a massive musical fan. I do like them to a certain degree. To be fair, the recent Greatest Showman, I thought was a really good movie.
I'm a massive musical fan.
Yeah, really,
big musical fan. Yeah.
Well, I love Grease sort of thing. But they're not movies I generally go back to. I think probably the only musical, I don't know if anyone even thinks of this film as a musical, because no one really says it is, but...
Is it the Goofy movie?
No, I've never seen the Goofy movie.
That's amazing.
Disgrace. But the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, to me, is a musical, because there's so many songs in it.
Come with me.
Yeah, exactly. Cheer up, Charlie. That kind of stuff. And so that's the kind of film I would go back to and watch, even though in my heart, it's a musical. Like Oliver.
My favourite musical is Bugsy Malone.
Oh yeah, we spoke about that recently, didn't we? Yeah.
I'm a massive Bugsy Malone
I only saw
fan.
that recently, which was this Christmas, just gone. It was on BBC Two.
Yeah, I'm a massive Bugsy Malone
again,
fan.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But Rocky Horror, it's not, for me, just horror. It's also, I generally think it's a great comedy.
Yeah, it's a very funny film.
There's so much, because Tim Curry, so when I was growing up, Frankenfurter scared me. He has these eyes, doesn't he, Tim Curry? Yeah. In many ways, like how he sort of uses, his acting skills to create characters like Pennywise the Clown from It.
Legend.
I love Legend.
Yeah. What's he called that? The Darkness?
Yeah, he's basically the devil.
Yeah.
But he's unrecognisable in it. His voice and everything, you wouldn't think that was the same.
The butler from Clue.
Clue is fantastic.
I love Clue.
He even does a great turn in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
As the
he's also in possibly one of the best episodes of Tales from the Crypt. He plays three characters in that.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, very, very...
I've seen episodes.
Yeah, if you ever get the chance to watch that one episode, it's very good. I think it's Death of a salesman, not Death of the... Is it? It might be one of them, like Death of the Salesman.
Famous Death of the Salesman.
Yeah, and that's what it's called. It's a very good episode, very fun episode.
Okay, I'll try and watch that.
Yeah,
I mean, like I say, Tim Curry, sadly, over the years, I think it's like since 2014, he's been quite poorly.
Very poorly, He's also out for the love of horror, just throwing it out
so
there.
Honestly, to any fan who's a massive fan of, obviously, all these characters that he's created over the years, these wonderful characters, if you want to meet him, you get a chance to meet him at the For Love of Horror.
He isn't doing autographs,
though. No, he's
just doing pictures.
You can't actually get an autograph by him, but you don't get it in person. It comes later.
Yeah.
So there is that option, but you can get a photograph with him. I think tickets are still on sale for that photo, but I think they're running out soon. So if you're a fan, get it done quick, because, like I say, that con, I've been to it. You've been to the Liverpool version, haven't you?
I've been to the Rotherham, Sheffield,
Okay, yeah. But For Love of Horror, for me, I've not been to the Sheffield Horror Con, so I can't comment. But the For Love of Horror is one of the best comic cons, in general, that I've ever been to.
You've said that a couple of times.
Yeah, it's got some of the most, I've met, that was one of the cons where I actually met, like the fans more than sort of the guests.
Yeah. You made a few friends from that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Luckily we get to see them again in October. Fingers crossed, everything being well. And but honestly, it's a great. I didn't know what to expect from HorrorCon when I first from the For Love of Horror, because I've never been to a HorrorCon before.
Plus as well with you, you're a horror fan, but you're not. Like me, I really only watch horror, whereas you watch everything.
I try and watch as much as I can. I mean, horror is I'm a big fan of the genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I will try and see everything. And so I wasn't too sure what to expect from HorrorCon, from the Love of Horror. And when I got there, I just found it to be one big party. Yeah. That's what it was. Everyone was so friendly. I mean, everyone's friendly at any of the cons I've been to, but this was a bit more different. And like I say, so with Rocky Horror, with the whole vibe coming. I mean, imagine, because Chad and I, like Chad said, we are going, and come and speak to us, please.
We'll be at the after party as well.
The after party.
We'll be at the after party.
Please come and say hello.
Me and Rob are sharing a room.
There will be a sex tape.
Yeah, well.
And
with this camera.
With this camera, yes, this camera's doing. It's
doing the rounds.
It's selling itself. It's gone very pornographic here. But no. I mean, so it's not just Tim Curry that was a big part of this movie. So obviously, for anyone who's a big fan of the Crystal Maze in the 90s, Richard O'Brien, he was a very eccentric character, and he's the brains behind Rocky Horror.
Which now, if you look now, Richard O'Brien's transgender now, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I last saw an interview with him on This Morning of all programs many years ago, and he looked well. Yeah. But I didn't know he was obviously in that process.
The people I work with, Tom, Rachel and Jay, they're all massive fans of film. They said to me, you need to watch it, and they all told me that. And I think if you watch that film, that's from his heart. He wrote that from his heart. Do you know what I mean?
Just on this rewatch, I realised something, because straight away, after every film I watch, I'm not too sure if you do it, but I go looking for trivia about the film.
Yes, I do that.
Because it's good for the podcast, of course, we get to share all those information if we don't know it already. But this one was a bit different because I did not know. So at the beginning of the movie, obviously, it starts off with a musical number, Science Fiction. And
which is a good song.
Oh, it's a great song. It's possibly is my favourite of the actual soundtrack.
Really?
Of that and the last song that Tim Curry's
beautiful song, right? Beautiful song.
And it's
Going Home. Sorry, that's what the song's called.
It's beautiful because
very good song.
That's because if you go back to watching a movie, I'm not too sure if you've seen it, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. In that film, it's based in the 80s, and
is that the one with
Scott Erzon Miller?
Yes.
Yeah. And they recreate Rocky Horror because they have their own little fanzine sort of thing, and they have like little concerts on the theatre show with their friends, and they sort of react it.
Yeah.
And they do that scene where he sings that last song, Going Home.
Yeah.
And it's so beautifully done, and it really made me want to revisit the film at the time. Yeah. And but at the beginning of of Rocky Horror and the science fiction song, so. Apparently, it was meant to be originally Patricia Quinn singing the song.
Really?
But in the end, they decided...
Which is Magenta's character.
Magenta's character, which is Riff Raff's sister.
Yes. Yeah, but they're a bit incestuous, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, with her, I wouldn't blame them. But I'm not condoning that, by the way.
You've already said
it. But to me, she's beautiful, and I might possibly have to meet her at HorrorCon.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, I might have to do it, and then, love you. If you please watch this, Patricia Quinn, please.
We'll send her
it. Sure. But yeah, so it's her. I believe it's her lips doing the lip sync.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But apparently it's Richard O'Brien's voice singing. Now I never have guessed that.
No way.
Now I don't know. No, that could be just like I think they call it in America half-arsed internet research, which I've got off another podcast, The Rewatchables. And to me, that is like amazing. I did not know that at all. So to come and watch this film over the years and not know that, I think, again, I love it when you watch a movie and then you find out new trivia from it after 20 years of knowing that film already. And apparently I think that's quite crazy.
That's crazy.
But like I say, this is why I love Richard O'Brien, because he's a man of many talents.
Very cool guy.
To create his character Riff Raff is generally very scary. He's got the look perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as Tim Curry frightened me as Frankenfurter, Riff Raff also did the same.
Oh yeah, he's hunching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got the creepy butler vibe. Yeah, and he's got the like I said, the hunchback, and his eyes, and even his voice. Good evening.
It's a good impression.
It's got a bit of a bit of a Kenneth Williams vibe about it, sort of thing. But
matron.
Yeah, not Kenneth Williams. But have you ever seen Carry On Screaming?
I have.
Yeah, that's a perfect sort of like nod to it. But yeah, he managed to bring, because all these different themes with Rocky Horror. So you've got obviously horror, comedy, science fiction, and you've got I don't know, this is before sort of it happened in movies, but the opening scene, well, not the opening scene, but the bit where Brad and Janet are now travelling and in the rain during the night. Yeah. So many sort of Friday the 13th vibes about it, so many slasher
5 years before
exactly.
Friday the 13th.
And, it had perfect, like I say, it took a lot from, Universal horror films and brought in their own...
The castle is just Dracula's castle.
Yeah, exactly. The lightning and things like that. And it's just a really, it's not a flawless film. I do have a few issues. But overall, it's a fun film.
Very fun film. Like this film for me, I was saying to the guys in my tattoo studio today, this film wasn't on my top 10 musical radar. This film's on number 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
so this film went straight up.
This film went from like I said at the beginning, I'd watched this film when I was 11, as much as an 11-year-old would watch a film.
Yeah.
I'm too busy playing Call of Duty. Took myself. Yeah, I watched it and it's gone straight up for me. It's just, for me, it's just a love letter to do you know what I mean? It's amazing.
Yeah, it has that, like, the vibes are just strong in all departments.
Yeah.
Even going back to say, like the science fiction vibe, towards the end when Riff Raff and Magenta sort of like dress up in their
laser gun.
Yeah, they dress up in their sort of like original clothing, really, because obviously they want to go back to their planet.
I imagine this is gonna have spoilers in it because the film's older than time.
Yeah, I mean
I did not expect Tim Curry to die. I did not know he died. I managed to avoid that spoiler forever.
No, I mean, yeah, because obviously he is the main character. He's the focus, isn't he?
Yeah.
And like I say, originally, like I've said, Tim Curry frightened me as Frankenfurter. But in this film, it turned into actually Riff Raff. That was the kind of character.
I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. Tim Curry in this film, very sexy.
Yes.
And I'm a heterosexual male, but even I can tell that this man is... He was 29 when he did this film.
Wow, okay. Good pins.
Yeah, and... Yeah,
I won't lie. So the scene now, going back to this, let's be open about it.
Yeah.
The scene now when he goes to visit, so Brad and Janet, they're obviously staying at this castle.
Yeah. Is this where he goes into our rooms?
Yeah, so there's 2 separate scenes, and I don't know what, hilarious.
They are funny.
Tim Curry brings not only this great actor, but honestly, great comedic performance.
Yeah.
His timing is impeccable, and I just love the bit where, so he goes into Susan Sarandon, who is Janet. He goes into her room first, pretending to be Brad, puts on the voice, sort of has the hair, and straight away he's like, walks in, and she believes him, and he's in bed with her, sort of caressing her and things
Brad.
like that. Yeah, and then straight away she finds out because he takes off his wig, and obviously Frankenfurter's got a bit of a perm going on.
Yeah,
and she's like, that is actually quite a sexy scene. It's very weird. I can't, I'm sort of probably saying too much here. But when I was watching that film when I was like a teenager, I thought, this is mad.
Raunchy.
This is raunchy. You don't see this in musicals ever. It's not, it's not something that's on the musical radar. Sex scenes sort of thing. And there's not really a sex scene in it, but it implies it. And honestly, I thought, and then the scene with Brad, and this is 2 men, so this is mad.
Yeah.
1975. This film is really breaking boundaries. And even then, I'm thinking, this is sorry. I broke character there.
I was going to say, calm.
Please, language. But honestly, I thought, this is still sexy. I don't care if the 2 men are, sort of together. Tim Curry, Brad, Barry Bostwick, they're making this scene perfect. It's doing what it's supposed to do, and like I say, throughout the movie, I think it's one of the lyrics, you know, give yourself to absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
I love that line. I think it's fantastic. And there's so much about Rocky Horror that just, I think people don't appreciate what that film did at the time.
Like, I'm very annoyed with myself. It took me this long to watch it properly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
26.
I'm the same as Chad. I haven't seen it for many years, and I should revisit it more often because, like, and I think people should know about this movie more, especially if people are going through, not problems, but issues with transgender issues for themselves.
I think it's a very important film for, and I hope I got the term right. Is it LGBTQ?
Exactly.
I think it's a very important film, and I think. So it should be.
Yeah,
so it should be. Because it's a film that basically says, you do you, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that. I think that's beautiful.
And the best thing about that is that people come to the musical when it's on in the many places. They show it at the local theatre where we live, at Llandudno. I think it's on.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think it's on this year, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Oh, should we go?
We should go.
No, we all go.
But what's great about this is that basically men dress up in stockings and also they get into character. And, so no one shies away from it because in the community of Rocky Horror, everyone is happy.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters in life, is being happy.
Yeah.
And that film, like I say, I think it broke so many boundaries, which I did not appreciate as a teenager. But now, with, like you say, the LGBT community, with it all happening, obviously, it's now spoken about more than ever, and rightly so. It's fantastic that this film should be the champion of it. Yeah. Because, it is... I
can imagine a lot of young teens in the 70s watched that film and thought, this is for me.
Yeah,
This film's for me.
I think, in a way, it speaks to them.
Yeah.
I think it's like,
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, do you know what I mean, kind of thing. Like, this film's aimed at me, kind of thing.
Exactly, and I think it's important for people to sort of find a voice.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can only do it through movies or music because they find it hard for themselves. Which obviously, is a very sad thing to do, but that's sadly the way the world is, and that which is awful. But I love that Tim Curry was like, just did it how he did it, and he's a beautiful looking man.
Because I can imagine back then, Tim Curry must have got a bit of stick for doing that role, and Richard O'Brien for writing it, because obviously it was a stage show before it was a film, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and like I say, the characters. I mean, going back now to what you said originally, this film really did birth a lot of actors and actresses. Yep. It really did start.
Meatloaf.
So straight away, that's them. Oscar winner. And Meatloaf.
Hey, you know what was really before I came to here to meet you, my beautiful friend Rob. I didn't realise 2 years after this, that's when Meatloaf's first album came out, and I thought that was mental.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So Meatloaf was in this film in '75.
Yes,
and his first album was released in '77.
Okay, was that About Hell? Or was that later?
I think that was 81. If I look, I didn't look. I was trying to look at when his first album came out, and it said '77.
Meatloaf, by the way, is also going to be at HorrorCon.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Meatloaf will be like a bat out of hell. That jokes. Yeah. So my thing with Meatloaf is I think I'd rather meet him as the singer than because he's Eddie in the film, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think he's even actually singing anymore. I think he's had a few vocal problems over the years. And
to me, he'll always be Bob from Fight Club.
Yeah. That is a cult role. That I think he sort of reinvented himself a bit. Didn't he? As more of an actor as well. I mean, obviously he was an actor already. Yeah. But I think people got reminded about his acting skills because he was great as Bob.
I also liked him in, was it 51st Dates? He was the Gecko or the Lizard or something his name was. Did you watch that? Samuel Jackson and Robert Carlyle. Yeah. 51st State.
51st State. I've not seen that in years. That was a 90s film.
I think his name was the Gecko.
Was it 90s to early 2000s, I think it was.
Showing your age there, Rob. Yeah, I really liked him in that as well.
Yes.
But quite a lot of these people, like if you look at we've got to have these lists now, because especially now, I forget that, but Nell Campbell, who plays Columbia, she's going to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously Meatloaf's there. I was going to say Susan Sarandon. Susan Sarandon's not there, I'm sorry. Tim Curry's there. Barry Bostwick's there.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. You know what? I'd love to meet Richard O'Brien just because of Crystal Maze.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I believe they have. I did read in the comments somewhere that they had reached out to him, but it hasn't happened, unfortunately. Yeah. But to be fair, it makes
Magenta's there as well.
Yeah, Patricia O'Quinn. I will see you there. But no, honestly, I think it's Like they've even got like one or two like smaller characters who were doing the time warp.
Yes, yeah.
The time
Christopher
warp.
Biggins isn't there.
No, he's not. No, and that'd be pretty cool to see him.
My favourite part about Meatloaf's part is when he nearly runs over Christopher Biggins on the motorbike.
Yeah. And that's the great thing. I mean, like I say, there's so many different characters in this movie. Like, you know, it really is. Not all musicals for me like have, you know, maybe like Grease obviously have lots of different characters.
Grease
like
2's better. I'm just going to say that now. We can argue about it later.
Grease 2.
I'm a big fan of Grease 2. I'm Tom. This is for you, Grease 2.
Grease 2. I will get that done.
Yeah, Grease 2's a good film.
But
Michelle Pfeiffer. Sorry, it's not about Grease 2. Sorry,
we've gone from. No, it's all musicals, isn't it? This is a musical episode. Anything goes.
Rob's going to do a musical soliloquy at the end, aren't you?
No.
Just checking.
Maybe I will though. Maybe I won't. You have to keep on.
Yeah, you have to watch
the video to the end.
And if you skip it, you'll miss it.
Yeah, I mean you will miss it. No, but like I say, the Rocky Horror, it is a classic. It's timeless, and I really wish people will. You know, I mean, I'm obviously people our age will have mostly watched it, but I'm really going to champion it to people like my son to watch.
Yes.
I think it definitely is an important movie.
It's an important movie
because I think as a child myself, I would have ignorantly watched it and gone, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But now, over the years, as you get older, you get wiser and whatnot. And well, I don't know about wise, but we're getting better. And I see what this film is, and I see what it must have done at the time, and I'd like to think it still does today.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so where do we go from here?
We just go straight to just saying it's a good film.
It's a great film.
It is a good film. Like I said before, it was like I would class this as my first time watching it, and from it going to a nothing film to my second favourite musical ever in one viewing, that says a lot.
I think you're completely right. I think sometimes as well, when you watch a film from a very early age and then you go to watch it, say 20 years later or whatever it is, I think sometimes it's hard to sort of remember that far back on just a one watch. So I think, like I say, I've watched this film probably 6 or 7 times. So, but I still find something different in it because a lot happens, and obviously a lot of the musical scenes, they're so fast. Obviously, in areas, you sometimes miss those little quirks, and but that's a perfect reason to revisit a film like this.
Definitely,
yeah.
So I think we get down to the rating, really. Now, I think we've all said we've got to say.
Gritty.
So we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I'm just going to go out there and say it. How many corsets out of 10? No, tell you what, how many pearl necklaces? Because obviously Tim Curry wears a pearl necklace throughout the film.
We're not talking about the actual slang of pearl necklaces here.
I mean, if you want an Urban Dictionary,
you can.
But yeah, so how many pearl necklaces out of 10 will you give this?
I'm going to give the table's going
sorry, my
shifty. That's the excitement. I would say, so it's not a 10 for me.
Okay, no, that's understandable.
I'd say,
it's hard to have a film that's a 10.
Yeah, I give it, I mean, to be fair, I've given quite a few 10s already. I love movies, what can I say? But I give it an 8, and the reason I give it an 8 is because I wasn't a big fan of the ending. So the whole movie kicks off. The whole film for me is like great scene after great scene after great scene, and towards the end, though I do love the Tim Curry performance of Going Home, I just I don't know. I just thought it went a bit psychedelic in areas. Like I don't know. I sort of just went a bit off track.
I didn't like how he was meant to be a scientist, really smart fella. And his thoughts of escaping was to climb up a curtain.
Yeah.
That really bothered me, and I don't know why.
When Rocky carries him, did you get like a bit of a King Kong vibe?
I said that to my wife. I was like, why is this gone all King Kong?
Yeah, definitely. I suppose, obviously...
That's a cool nod.
Yeah, because King Kong, I suppose, of its time, 1933, that would have been a bit of a horror film, right? Because obviously it's a beast.
I mean, I'd class King Kong as a horror film.
Yeah. It's definitely got... I mean, the Peter Jackson King Kong film.
Good film.
Going off vibe as always. Going off topic, but that has got some, quite nasty scenes in it.
Yeah.
But no, I'd give it an 8 because the ending just wasn't... It wouldn't have been how I wanted it to end. I think there was a better ending in it. And like I say, because you're getting so much killer throughout the whole movie, and at the end, it just sort of drops a little bit for me.
I don't know if I am on the high of the film because it's the first time I've watched it.
Good. No, that's
good. And I've got a few friends that are in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like this film is good for people to watch. Yeah. Especially for the time it came out. I think it's a beautiful film. I'm going to give it a 9.
Good.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Is that your highest rating so far?
It's my highest rating.
Good.
And I give it a 9 mainly because I think it's an important film.
Yeah.
I think it's a very important film.
But I can see from this conversation you're buzzing about it.
Yes, it's a very good film. So yeah, 9. 9 pearl necklaces. 9 Tim Curry pearl necklaces out of 10.
Definitely well deserved. And I think if anyone any of our young viewers, I don't know if anyone young watches this, but if you do and you've never seen it, try it. And you might watch it and think it looks a bit dated, because it does, but I think that was the point.
I don't know, I think it's aged well.
I mean, sorry, not dated as in like it looks like sort of like
It looks like it was like a gothic horror film. Doesn't
yeah,
it?
and those films have to look a certain way.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because they want to look like, I think again I think a lot of horror films of that caliber, like in say Dracula's Castle.
Yeah.
They always do think back to the Universal horror films.
Yeah.
Like of Frankenstein and Dracula, Wolfman and Invisible Man and whatnot. But I think they want to have that vibe. Again, it's because of its influence.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a great film. And again, like Rob said, if you've not watched it, highly recommend.
Or if you've not seen it in many years, go rewatch it, because
you'll see new things.
Exactly. And like I say, we've generally buzzed off rewatching a movie that we, to be fair, when For the Love of Horror decided to, announce guests again, I never saw Rocky Horror coming. I never saw it being part of taking over this con, which is going to do in October this year, and I'm buzzing for it.
Because I when I first seen that they were doing like a Rocky Horror reunion, I was annoyed.
Yes.
So obviously, I was like, oh, Rocky. I was like, you could
put your money elsewhere.
Do you know what I mean, kind of thing. But now I've watched it, I'm like, oh no, Rocky Horror, man.
And
Rocky Horror.
I think it's going to be the making of the after party. There's going to be loads of music playing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a band, I think, and but I think it's going to bring out a fun vibe of the con, because you're going to get people dressing up.
Well, you'll find me and Robin corsets and fishnets.
Correct. And the sort of, the stick, isn't it?
Jump to the left.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Jump to the right.
Put your hands on your hips. Sorry.
This is what we promised you at the end. But yeah, this is the... I say...
The musical number?
Yeah.
Sorry.